Yeah, hi guys. Given the government is effectively forcing foreign social media companies to censor Australians, do you think the government should also provide an avenue of appeal to those Australians to appeal the decision of the foreign media companies, social media companies, if they are censored? Or is effectively the government going to just allow social media companies to be, the judge and jury with no right of appeal from Australian citizens? Because that's effectively what this bill is doing.
I'm happy to try and answer that question. I'm not entirely convinced by the premise, I must say. So my understanding is that the process is that ACMA requires or has the capacity to require the creation of codes that then determine how content might be moderated with a view to regulating for mis and disinformation. That is a process that would involve engagement between the regulator and the industry. I think I would agree with my other colleagues from ACAN that there's rarely in these processes sufficient representation for consumers or people who advocate for human rights or civil society generally in the creation of those codes, and that is a problem because in general civil society is under-resourced and it becomes a situation where industry is very well resourced and the regulator at times is as well, and there isn't enough role for civil society to play in being a voice for people who use these services. So in that sense, I think it is worth recognising that that process of code creation needs to have some accommodation for citizen voice in it that is properly resourced to do that work. If you're asking whether there should be an appeal mechanism for people who may have had content taken down on the basis that it doesn't meet the obligations,
and that's what I'm asking.
Of the code, I think there is a role to play for that kind of appeal process to exist. At the moment, people are deplatformed on these platforms all the time, and often for both reasons that would fall on both sides of the political spectrum, and that is a problem. So I think there is some role to play in that kind of appeal mechanism. But if you are going to follow through on this process, if you draft the codes right, you'd minimise the creation of that problem and the need for that appeal mechanism.
Okay.
Authorised G. Rennick People First Chermside.